I guess I just first and foremost just wanted to come down and say hello to you and tell you what an honor it is to be a Gator, and you know, really thank you guys for all you do to help us be successful in knowing that our athletic program and our football program is simply just a branch of a greater brand that is so powerful out there nationally. It's unbelievable, and it's because of our academic, where we rank academically and how we go about our business. And I just want to say thank you so much, and it's great to be a part of that. You know, we try to get our guys involved as much as we can, not only obviously on the compliance side, but also within our Office of Student Life, which is, you know, it's interesting, when I interviewed every single player when I first got here, the one component that came out in literally every single one of them is how much they like our Office of Student Life, as far as people connecting with them and helping them transition, you know, because it's a hard transition now, you know, going from some of this to where they are. And so that's been outstanding. And then obviously our involvement within the community. One of the things I've stressed with our guys, and we've got a long ways to go, but you know, each and every day we wake up, it's really about what we give of ourselves for the benefit of others. That you know, we've got some guys that are talented. They're talented in some areas that some of us aren't, and yet because of that talent, the outreach is something that's so important, because the power of what we carry is incredible, and how we choose to use that. That's part of the education piece. You know, I grew up a teacher, taught in college. I get it. Mom, dad, sisters, brothers all come from academics, and I truly understand the importance of it. And yet there's life educations as well, and that's something that we're truly giving our guys, and that's something I'm really proud of. You know, it's the joy you get in doing something like this is affecting young men's lives in a positive way. And you know, where it really comes in is the phone calls you get, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, and now sometimes 30 years past, from guys that maybe, you know what, weren't sure what direction they were going to go in their life, and maybe didn't have the background from where they came from, and yet, you know what, they're doing a great job. They're great fathers. They're people that are actually committed to helping society. And you know, that as an educator is really what it's all about. And I got to tell you, just thanks so much for letting me be part of this brand, and something that means so much to all of us. And man, I appreciate it. So.
Let me make sure you know who we are. We are the Intercollegiate Athletic Committee, which is a faculty committee that is appointed by the president, plus one student representative that comes from student affairs. There are 8 faculty, including myself and the student, and we are the voting members of this committee. We are joined by the liaison group, which are the people out of UAA, all of whom you know here, and also administrators, and you know Joe and some of the others.
Right.
And our responsibility is what you're talking about. We are charged with oversight of all aspects of the intersection between athletics and academics, particularly as it affects the student athlete and faculty. And we meet periodically to do what we can to make sure that it is properly patrolled. We recognize how important coaches are in the life of the student athlete, and that's why we've asked you now are the 6th coach to come in and talk with us. That's why we record it, put it on the IAC website, so faculty and students will have an opportunity to see and hear coaches talk about that intersection and how he or she manages that in the life of the student athlete. So we're all engaged in a similar enterprise, and we all have the same objective, and that is the welfare of the student or student athlete and how he or she impacts on society. So it's important for us to know your attitude, all coaches' attitudes towards student athletes and the academic side, because we certainly recognize what you know, that when you have a student who's looking for excellence in athletics and excellence in academics, there's a lot of pressure. Time being the least of it, just a lot of pressure. And so we work in the same venue that you do. Not out on the field, fortunately, but in the administrator's office, in the faculty offices, and intersect with these students as they try to accomplish their academic aims.
Well, I know the one thing that we, as we talk about, like even when we're recruiting, obviously at the level we recruit at, a lot of guys think that the end all is the National Football League. Let's call it the way it is.
Right.
Just like when you're recruiting an engineering student that may say the end all is Boeing. I don't know. It's that same thing. But the one thing I told them, and I found this out when I coached in the National Football League, and each and every one of them must understand this: no one plays this game forever. And what you do academically in getting that degree in something you can use that fits you is what's going to set you apart for the rest of your life. And where we have an up is the Gator brand isn't just a regional brand. It allows you to go nationally and get a job. And one of the things I really like about, I don't have to get politics into it, but our governor, his deal is let's not only graduate them, but let's create jobs, right? And I think that's really what it's all about. And that's where it really hit me. Where it really hit me was when you coach at that next level and on cut day. Yeah. And those who did not take advantage or use the gift they had to get a degree, because now they're in a world of panic, and that's not what our guys are going to do.
Right.
So
it might be useful for those of you who are on the IAC introduce and let Coach know where you come from in terms of the university. Melissa, you want to start?
Sure. Melissa Orth, Government Relations.
Frank Bowman, Department of Neurosurgery.
Mike Zegas, Cause Health. Jim, I'm Dave Kratzer, Vice President for Student Affairs.
Marshall Coburn, I'm a law student. John Banko, Finance.
I'm Barbara Bennett, and I assist Dr. McCullough.
We skipped Dr. Clough.
We're not on the IAC.
I know that, but we'll make you a liaison.
Joe Glover, Provost.
Andy McCullough, Office of Provost. Go ahead, Brian. You can introduce yourself.
A little ad hoc. I'm Brian Mills. I'm Assistant Professor in TRSM, Sport Management.
I'm Kara Dawson from Education.
L.Y. Saki, College of Agricultural and Life Sciences.
Any of you in the back don't know the coach, or the coach doesn't know you? Help yourself. Now's your chance.
Brian Harvey, College of Liberal Arts and Science. Mike Ronco, Teaching Technology, work with Dr. McCullough.
I'm George UFIT.
Wanda Garfield with UFIT.
Donna Johnson, Teaching and Technology, work with Dr. McCullough.
I'm surprised they say they work for me. So that's who we are. As you can tell, we come from all corners of the university, but we converge on the same kind of things you worry about. Right. Any questions while the coach is here? Anybody?
I will say this as a faculty, I'd like to thank, and we've got one of them in here, obviously, that comes and actually gives time out of their day to visit with parents and prospective students, and that interaction is huge, because the one thing we constantly talk about is family and how we're all in this together. And those guys has helped that come, and spend some time out of their day to just explain what it is to be, get a degree from the University of Florida. It's something pretty powerful. So thank those people in your areas that come and do that, because that's, we can't do it without that. So.
All right.
All right.
No questions? All right.
I'll ask a question.
Oh, please, Al. Go.
We increasingly talk about student resiliency on campus, and there's there seems to be some difference how resilient our students are. Maybe they don't face as much rejection as some of us may have in our lives. Do you experience that with your team, and if so, how do you handle that?
Well, I think the one thing you got to know is, you know, we're judged by wins and losses. I mean, there is no really gray area in there. So it's how you handle the adversity. Now, the one thing is we've had a lot of guys that have gone through adversity in their life. Now, it's the choices you make and how you handle that adversity is what we constantly educate about. And you know, we all have freedom of choice, and the choices are going to define who we are and what we're all about. So we feel it's part of our job is to help them make choices from the mantra of do what's right, but understand that the adversity piece, that's when it takes more. That's when you really gotta buckle down, and that's a great thing. Athletics gives you an opportunity to teach. And you know, some are better at it than others, and yet you know, what we constantly talk about is it's about winning the now in everything that you do, because no matter what's going to happen in the future, it's going to be based on what you did today to take care of it. So through our mental conditioning program, through our lecturers and speakers that we bring to visit with our guys, you know, that talk kind of where they're coming from, and yet those base principles, we kind of build on 8 principles, but that help deal with what success is and how to achieve it. And yet, you know, everybody's success is a little different based on the arena that they're in. So that's really what we try to educate on, and some are at better than others. And you know, in the instant gratification society in which we live today, the idea of actually putting in a day's work to get something out of it that's a novel concept for a lot of these guys. I mean, shoot, there's people in this room that get upset when you don't get your hamburger at McDonald's in 45 seconds. You know, I mean, you get mad. And yet that's the life we live now. Everything's a 5-second snapshot. And so a lot of those age-old principles are what we're trying to continue to build on. And that's a big piece of it.
Coach, we're fortunate in that we get to interview all the graduating athletes. So we've just divvied up the fall graduations. We get to talk to them about their overall career. I think we get a relatively unique view on campus of what the athletes go through and how they actually juggle things. But that familiarity, you know, we're so segmented on campus where the academics and the athletics don't mix at the classroom level. You've been in a class. Mm-hmm. You understand the difference between the two. How can we better branch down across campus so that everybody understands a little bit more about the other person's world? Because that's really the problem we have.
You know, it was interesting, funny you said that. So I was a faculty member at Eastern Washington University, and we weren't recognized until they needed our vote on campus for something. And then we became voting faculty members. I thought that was rather interesting. And yet, you know, at some of those places, the interaction between both factions, it's amazing. We're really all centered in the same arena. We just come at it a different way. And I know we personally enjoyed that at a smaller university because there was a lot more chance for interaction from the standpoint of just the size of the school. You know, the fact that we were actually in on faculty meetings and decisions that are being held on campus and that kind of stuff. And what it broke down a wall and a barrier that we really found out we were all in it at the same time, you know, for the same thing. It's really the benefit of students. And, you know, I'd say that was unique. I think when we get to some of the larger universities, that's a natural thing. And, you know, it's a natural thing in big business. And you see where some of them start to fail because all of a sudden you've got independent contractors not really necessarily all on the same page sometimes. But I do know this about this place. And by the way, I will echo unbelievable president that we've hired, a guy that truly is in it for the students. And I'm telling you that is cool, guys. And I had an opportunity to spend some time with him, and I really think that for the most part we're all out there pushing the Gator brand in the right direction, and that's really what it's all about. So the interaction piece, I get a chance because I get some guys that come and spend some Saturdays with us, you know, during recruiting. So it's great to know and see kind of what they do. And you know, as far as an answer on how, let us vote, man.
I previously had the opportunity to be chair of the faculty senate. It couldn't hurt.
Anything else? Thanks.
Well, thank you so much. Appreciate your time, and enjoy the meeting. Hopefully they feed you lunch or something.
You would think so.
Thank you.
First adjournment.